This is Geometry Lesson 1.2 Segments. So we're going to start with a couple definitions today, and the first word that we're going to be defining is congruent. Now, congruent is a mathematical term that means exactly the same size and shape. So two segments, we talked about segments yesterday, are going to be congruent when they are the exact same length. Like maybe we have a 2-inch segment, we have another 2-inch segment. We can also talk about maybe congruent triangles. If we have two triangles that have all the same side lengths, all the same angle measures, they would be congruent triangles. We can even talk about congruent objects in real life, like anytime you get a pack of pencils, right? A brand new pack of a dozen pencils, every one of those pencils is the exact same size and the exact same shape. So I'm going to try to draw I'm going to maybe throw on a triangle. So here is a triangle, and here is a congruent triangle. They are the exact same size and the exact same shape. We have a symbol to represent congruent. So we know the equal sign has just two little lines. If we throw a squiggly on top of that, that is our congruent symbol. And I wonder, I think I have some keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, there we go. So that is what a congruent symbol looks like in print. So when we have two shapes that are the exact same size, we would say this segment is congruent to this segment. So numbers have value like 5 equals 5. Shapes don't have value, they have congruence. So this triangle is congruent to that triangle. A ruler is a tool used to measure length. Most rulers come in centimeters or inches. And it's going to be hard to do this on a screen when we don't really have a piece of paper in front of me, but I did find a ruler that I think I copied and pasted, so it's exactly to scale as a real ruler would be if we were holding it up to our paper. But you can see these centimeter marks here and these inch marks here, so that's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, and inches are actually harder than centimeters, even though we're kind of more used to them in the United States because we have to do with fractions, right? So this is 1/2 an inch. This is 1 3/4 of an inch. Right here is technically 2 1/8 inch. So there's lots of fractions involved. Whereas with centimeters, if I was going to go right to this big mark here, that's 1.5. And this first little mark here is just 2.1. So 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So that's a little easier for us. But I don't know if you want to try to draw a ruler in there. Maybe I like playing with my shapes. Maybe I'm just going to draw like this guy. There, that's my ruler. Usually they're about 12 inches, right? Make him a little skew. And if we want, we can add our little hash marks in there because we're used to seeing rulers having, little marks, bam, 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 on both sides telling us how long something is. But I'm going to try to use this ruler that I copied and pasted to hopefully do these examples, and I hope I got the scale right so that it matches up whatever a ruler size would be in real life. If you need a ruler, we have those available at school. You can also purchase them at Walmart or Target for under $1. But if I have this ruler here and the instructions ask me to measure in centimeters, I'm going to line up the 0 line with one of the endpoints, and then I'm going to see where the other endpoint aligns, and that's my measurement. So if I have this one lined up right here, get as close as I can get without covering it up. I think that looks like it's about one little line in front of this medium line. So that is 123.1234. I would say that's 3.4 centimeters, 1/10 of a centimeter short of 3.5 centimeters. So I would say that is 3.4 centimeters. Where'd it go? 3.4 centimeters. If I'm looking at letter B, I'm going to try and slide this ruler over here. And again, I'm going to line that M up as close as I can to the 0 mark. And a lot of people want to put like the end of the ruler there. We don't put the end of the ruler there. We put the 0 mark right there. So I'm going to line that 0 mark up right in the center of that endpoint. And this to me looks like it's just one little mark short of 6. So that I would say is 5.9 centimeters. Okay, so keeping going on for example B, it says use the diagram to find the indicated measure, and we're going to use some numbers now, some addition subtraction to figure out these measurements rather than a ruler. So this figure is telling me that starting at point F and going all the way to point H is exactly 36 units. Starting at point F and going to point G is exactly 21 units. So if this whole thing is 36 and this piece of it is 21, I can take the whole piece from F to G, which is 36, and subtract this piece right here, and that's 21, and that leaves me with 15 units to go from G to H. And I should write the word units because I don't have inches or centimeters, it's just 15 units. And here, these little marks are actually telling me that they are congruent. So that means from our definitions that they're the exact same size. So starting from R and ending on S is the exact same measurement as starting at S and ending on T. So if I have this little mark here, that means this is 22. So this little mark here means that this is also 22. Now if I want the measurement from R to T, I can just add these two pieces together. 22 plus 22 will give me the length of RT. 22 plus 22 is 44. And again, I'm going to throw on the word units. I don't have inches or centimeters or any of those, so we're going to throw on units to not leave that dangling. So I hope that makes sense. Good luck on the exercises, and please let me know if you have questions.